Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Day Darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where we'll be vibing out as per usual. You know what? I think I've been missing out on. Well, while Bluey is a very good show and all that sort of thing, and it sparked the previous two conversations, what I missed out on is the fact that it's so nostalgia fueled that it would be perfect to fuel all my conversations in Animal Crossing. Like, yesterday, the fact I just talked about a very popular episode in Bluey called Sleepy Time, and I fueled my conversation for about 20 minutes or something. I should just do that. I should just pick the most popular episodes on Bluey and then just be like, what nostalgia spawns up for me, which I can talk about. Because I was literally just thinking, I don't know what to talk about when I thought about doing that. And I was like, the camping episode. I've got an anecdote from that. But anyway, hello there, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, 6:02 p.m. on Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022. And just so you know that tomorrow and day after, I will not be here to record Animal Crossing videos. So there are pre-recorded episodes. So probably tomorrow and the day after we'll have the Happy Home Paradise, and then on the weekend I will probably just upload normal videos rather than Happy Home Paradise videos, just because 4 Happy Home Paradise videos, but they're just a bit long is my problem. I got so used to just running past my mailbox. But I was thinking about this because, okay, yes, in Bluey, there's a really good episode called Camping or whatnot, where basically the gist of it is Bluey and her family go to a campsite where they stay only for a few days. It is one of my favourite episodes, I will say. Stay only for a few days, and then she meets this French boy called Jean-Luc. And despite the fact that he can't speak English and she can't speak French, they, still bond. Never a language barrier be damned, because it's friendships and childhood friendships can be made throughout whatever. They still manage to play together. They play every day continuously for like a while or whatever. They talk to their family, etc. About each other, and then one day Bluey wakes up to go play with Jean-Luc, and then, spoilers, suddenly he's gone, and then, Bluey's like, what happened? And then Bluey's mum is all just like, oh yeah, I think I saw them pack and leave this morning, and then Bluey's all sad and dejected, because obviously, a friend that she really liked is no longer there to play with, and that sort of thing, and then, of course, there's, like, sort of underlying, not references necessarily, but like sort of insinuation that maybe she's got like a little crush or whatever, a childhood crush, etc. Not the most uncommon thing in the world, but maybe you shouldn't read too much into it because it's not explicitly said or anything, but I think it's understandable if you do think so as well. And then there's this really beautiful conversation that she has with her mum later at night, being like, I don't want Jean-Luc to go, and then the mum just goes, it's just how it's got to be, some people are special because of the time they spent in our lives, and I can't remember the exact thing she says, but basically it's along the lines of, the moments that we have that we spend with people, even though they're temporary, they're even more special because of those fleeting moments, and some people just, aren't always going to be forever in our lives. They'll just come and go, but that doesn't make the moments that you spent with them any less special. And it's a really beautiful moment, I thought. But, I thought about it, and I was like, that technically has happened to me when I was younger, when I was much younger. I can't remember how old I was. I'm going to guess I was around 6-ish or something. I went on a camping holiday as well with my family. You might be like, I thought I remember when you first talked about the camping trip earlier this year in March, you said that was the first time you went camping. Okay, technically I didn't say that was my first time I went camping. I said that was the second time I went camping, but also the first time I went, when I say a camping holiday with my families, we didn't do the camping. We went to a campsite, but we stayed in a caravan or a Charlotte house most of the time. My family aren't really avid campers, but we still like the outdoors and nature and that sort of thing, so caravans are a sort of nice in between, I suppose. I don't know if that's why my parents decided it, but I liked it a lot when I was younger. So we went to a few like sort of caravan and camping site parks, and we stayed for a while. It's just like a nice sort of like getaway, and it's sort of like in between of camping and a hotel, I suppose, which is why we did it. I don't really know. But anyway, I met a friend, and one of the times, I don't even remember where it was, but it was wherever it was, I met a friend. I'm not going to say his name, so let's just call him my Jean-Luc, except for he wasn't French, he was English as well. Of course, I was, I'm like Chinese. I'm not going to say I'm a Chinese kid because, I wasn't born in China or anything, but, at that age, I have like pretty equal influences from, British culture and Chinese culture and that sort of thing. And he was very, very British, not like posh British. I can't remember where exactly he was from, and it's been so many years that I don't even remember. I still remember his name though. But anyway, my version of Jean-Luc, like we played games together. I can't remember how we met. I just remember there's a playground thing that people everyone was playing around, all the other kids were playing on. It's so juvenile to think back on, I suppose, but I say that not like a dismissive way, but like in a joke, like an amusing way. We were on this. Everyone was playing around this. Whatchamacallit? I don't know what to call it. This like. It's not a tire swing, but it was like it's a giant pole in the middle, and it's sort of like a seesaw, I suppose. But you know, you sit on a giant tire, and it's okay. Hold on. I'm going to paint a picture for you. It's a massive like telephone pole-esque thing in the middle. From the top of the telephone pole, two other poles come down, and at the end of the poles, there's 2 tires. Those that makes it a seesaw because it can pivot about that of the top of a telephone pole. So it's basically like a really tall seesaw. It's probably how I would describe it. Except for it's not just a seesaw; it also rotates. So it can rotate around the pole and it can go up and down. So it's got like a 2-axis seesaw, I suppose. What would 3 axes be? I guess it'd be like. Hold on. What would 3 axes like? That's 1 rotation. That's 1 rotation. I guess. No, that's 1 rotation. I guess it is all 3 degrees of a seesawing, kind of. No, I guess that would be the other one. It doesn't have a yaw or pitch. I don't remember which one's which. I think we were playing on that. Anyway, I remember because there was like a group of kids were playing a game where you had to sit on it and then it like. You can imagine that like I'm trying to think how to describe this in like a kid-friendly way or whatever, but it was like, how would I describe it? Sorry about that little bit of a pause, but anyway, I was describing a game with a seesaw where, you know, it was mostly boys, I suppose, just playing around on the thing. They were sitting on like you can probably invent like you know, just a stereotypical like childhood boys game they were playing or whatever. Anyway, me and my John Luke were calling him my John Luke is so weird. It's not like I had that much affection for him or anything. Like I didn't have a crush or anything on him. I was just like, we were good friends. So I guess we'll call him Luke John. How about that? To differentiate from Jean-Luc and Bluey. So me and Luke John were met there because, you know, we both had a turn on like the seesaw. No, not playing whatever. Like, I don't remember. They were like secondary school kids or something playing. Maybe not second. Maybe like year 7s, I would say. Playing with that sort of thing. It was really weird. I don't know. You know, kids on puberty and weird games. But when they got like me and him like met, we were just like on the seesaw being like, hey, you want to like. I can't remember exactly, but something like one of us was on the seesaw and we was like, you want to ride as well? And we were like, yeah, because obviously you need 2 people on that seesaw, otherwise it's no fun. And we had a good time with that. We started talking. And then I remember, like after we finished playing on that for a while, he was like, hey, you want to come see where I'm camping? And I was like, sure. And like we went over to where he was camping, and I met his mum, and I saw their like tent and that sort of thing, and I was like, whoa. And I remember, excuse me, we talked about camping a little bit, and I was like, I've been camping, and we went to a caravan, and then like after that, we I remember now, it's all coming back to me. We went back to where my family was staying at a caravan thing, and I remember I showed him this like toy gun thing I got because we my family went to like the arcade the day before, I think, and I managed to get enough tickets to get like this gun which shot like these rubber pellets and things. And I remember like me and my family playing with it the day before. We were like putting a target up on the bookshelf, and we just like sat on the sofa like across the room, like trying to shoot it off and see if we could hit the target. Did any of us hit the target? Don't remember. Honestly, do not record. But it was a lot of good fun, and you know, I showed him that. Like we played around with that a little bit. I remember like he gave me some gum. He gave me like this like fruit pastel-esque gum is what I remember it tasting like. Maybe some sort of rainbow one. I don't know. I remember he had loads, and it was sort of gum where you could chew, and it would like eventually disintegrate. So if anything, it was like a super chewy malwam, I suppose. It was one of them which actually sort of just like ends up melting in your mouth, and thus you can actually safely swallow it. So maybe it wasn't even gum in the first place. I don't know if gum is sort of defined by the fact that you're not meant to swallow it, but you know what I mean. He had like a pack of that, and he shared like half of it with me, and it was a great time. You know. For years afterwards, I kept trying to find that sweet because I was just like, oh, you know, what is that sweet? It was so delicious. And then I remember he spoke to my family a bit, and then I remember we saw someone like out the window, like with a flashlight, just sort of like calling out his name, and he was like, oh, that's my mum, and it was like, oh yeah, we probably should have told him that you were here, and that you just ran off somewhere, and you know, he went back to his mum, and it was whatever. And then we played together for I think only the next day, because I think we were only there for one more day or whatever. I can't really recall, and like he was actually leaving later that day, and we were leaving like that next morning or whatever. And I remember like me saying goodbye to him, like, and we drove past him basically as we were leaving the campground, and him sort of just like running up, chasing the car as well, being like goodbye, and me being like bye out the window as well. And then I remember, as we left, that was probably the saddest I ever felt for, like, okay, maybe not the saddest I ever felt. Well, maybe, I don't know. I was only like 5. So I don't have a good sort of grasp of what made me really sad at that point. But I remember leaving and just being like overcome with sadness, being like, that's the last time I'm ever going to see him. Like, and I was like, oh, I genuinely made such a good friend there. And there's going to be I can no longer find him anymore. Obviously nowadays it's a little bit different, because nowadays you've got like such an online presence on social media. Like even little kids probably have social media, if not their parents will have social media, so it's easy to connect people nowadays. But back then, you know, I didn't have a mobile phone. Like my parents only had like the terrible, like, or not terrible, but like, you know, the brick phones or whatever. It's not like my parents even met their parents or that sort of thing. So it's just like some friendships are just meant to be that, and temporary, fleeting, and ephemeral. But I do remember for a while afterwards that I used to be like, oh, I really hope I meet him again someday. And of course my sort of like crazy magical thinking would be like, if I wrote his name on like the car window, like every time it gets like fogged up and steamy, I might randomly run into him. Like he might be driving past, he'll see his name written on the car window and be like, whoa, that's me. That's probably that friend I met on a camping trip. She's here. And, you know, obviously that would never happen, but you know, my crazy sort of mind was like, that's gonna happen. So that's what I did for a while. And I remember at one point my parents even asked me, like, oh man, you really miss him, don't you? And when I thought about it, and I was like, I don't miss him that much. Like, I'm like, not to the extent that I should be writing his name, like, sort of like, I mean, I can imagine how it looks to your parents being like, you know, a child obsessively writing a name on a window, that sort of thing. It sort of made me reflect, being like, I don't even know why I'm doing this, you know. Obviously I'm doing this because my mind like ended up telling me to do it, because my mind doesn't work sometimes. But it's the sort of thing where it's like, you know, obviously I do miss him. You know, it would have been nice to stay friends, but it was like so long afterwards. I was just like, you know, I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. But I don't know. Watching that camping episode from Blue, you really, you're not allowed to move on, by the way, Apollo. Don't go into the light. I don't want you to go. I don't want you to go. I don't want Jean-Luc to go. Didn't mean to talk to you again. Sorry, Apollo. But like watching that camping episode again, sort of like sparked that reignited that memory, being like, I completely forgot that was a thing. I wonder if I can actually find him on Facebook now, because of course I remember his name. I don't know his surname. I don't think I ever did know his surname. But that should be interesting. Hold on, let's see. Luc Jean. Is this his name? I mean, it's going to be nigh impossible to find him without his surname. I also don't even remember where he lives. Of course, this was like 20 years ago or something, so who knows? Maybe he exists. Well, not maybe he exists. He probably still at least exists. I don't think he was a figment of my imagination. If he was, then so be it. I don't even know if I've got any pictures of him anymore. I think we do, because I think my parents had a camera and you know, took pictures of us two together, that sort of thing. Just a couple or whatever. I don't know. It'd be really interesting to find out again. And if anything, you know, it makes me think of that Twitter thing where like some girl, she was just like, oh yeah, I once met a friend on like a Disney cruise or whatever. We were like best of friends or only that evening or whatever. Can, you know, Twitter do your thing? Help me find them. You know, obviously I don't think you can do that on Twitter nowadays, because Twitter's slowly dying. But they did eventually find her. I don't know what happened after that, to be perfectly honest. In fact, maybe I should look it up while this cutscene happens. Twitter friend on cruise reunited. An online search party helped two besties reunite. Here we go. After more than a decade. Here it is. And it was just like, oh, hey Twitter, I met this girl on dinner cruise. And then it has 100,000 retweets. And then suddenly replying, heard you were looking for me. What? They found her. Did they ever meet up? This was back in 2018. Oh, I'm just looking. Oh, they didn't meet up. maybe they just spoke? I don't know. This entire thread just keeps going on. They live very far away from each other, so it makes it difficult. A GoFundMe? Oh no, hold on. No, okay, it's a fake GoFundMe. What happened? It didn't continue onwards? Did you ever meet up? Come on, it's been 4 years since then. I mean, I guess they probably could just talk to each other over the internet. That's kind of like the point of the internet nowadays, but I don't know. Did it happen? 12 hours later, that was insanely fast. Anyway, yeah, the internet works very quickly. And if I was very determined, perhaps I could find this person. But honestly, I don't really have any desire to. Not that I'm just like, oh, this guy's probably a horrible person or anything. But, you know, that part of my life, is come and gone. I suppose, if anything, I agree with what Chili says in that episode. You know, that, you know, that moment was special because of its fleeting nature, I suppose. And now it's done. It's gone. I've got other friends anyway. We've got other things. He's probably got other things going on. I wonder if he even remembers it, to be honest. Because, I mean, I didn't remember it until I watched that episode. So maybe it's the same sort of thing. But anyway, maybe if we're going to go full circle with it anyway. At the end of the Bluey episode, there's like a jump forward in time. Well, it's either a jump forward in time or it's a made up like timeline thing where Bluey is back at the campsite with her family as well, and then goes to read a book by the same place where she met Jean-Luc. And then she hears a voice off screen go, "Hello, Bluey." And oh my god, it's grown-up Jean-Luc who has learnt to speak English back at the exact same campsite at the exact same time. And then it's all happy, and then the episode ends there. Which is just such a cute way, I think, to end the episode, you know. Going full circle, you know, short stories sort of, you know, as I say, about my own short stories, some, you know, for like a writing club here and there. It honestly sounds like kind of some sort of thing I'd write now I think about it. I'm not going to, you know, broaden my horizons and all that. New horizons, but yeah, that's right. This entire series was just a huge lead up for that joke. The Animal Crossing series is over now. You're welcome. No. But yeah, I don't know. Well, what if I just do that for a week or so? Just talk about the most popular Bluey episode, and then just be like, yeah, that's what I'll title each of these episodes. So, you know, yesterday we had Sleepy Time. Today we'll have Campsite. I don't know what that Bluey episode's called. Hold on, let's see. Bluey Campsite. And apparently it's not even most popular, second most popular episode, because I think it goes Sleepy Time Baby Race or something. It's still got a 9.8. It's just called Camping. I can't call it Camping. I guess I'll call it Camping Friend. Hold on, what? We got to look at the highest rated Bluey episodes. Season? No. Sort. No, what? Bluey! How do I see? Oh, top rated. Top rated, here we go. Sleepy Time's only a 9.9 now. What? Outrageous! Oh, Camping's actually second, never mind. I thought Camping would be like fourth or something. Well, Baby Race is third. That is inconceivable. Why would someone give Bluey a 9.9 out of 10 for Sleepy Time? That's so sad. I really liked the fact it had like a 10 out of 10. Hold on, how do we see if we have a top rated TV shows on IMDb? IMDb top rated TV episodes. I think it was mostly anime last time I looked. Breaking Bad. Oh, Breaking Bad is the only one at 10.0. That's different. I assume there's been some sort of like, I don't know, people get very obsessed with these ratings. So I assume there's been some sort of like hit party to make sure that Breaking Ozymandias is the only one at 10.0 and all the others have been voted down to 9.9. Or there's been some like normalization. Anyway, Sleepy Time here. So I guess next time, well, not tomorrow or the day after, but we'll be talking about Baby Race. I don't even know how I'm going to talk about Baby Race. I'm not a mother. Onesies? I guess I could talk about onesies. These are such good episodes. These are absolute banger episodes. Bingo's up here as a highly rated episode. Wait, what's the lowest? Bonus bits, One Man Went to Mow. Okay, it's all the bonus bits, which are just like short little clips on YouTube, probably. Magic is the lowest rated? No, Backpackers is. What? I don't even remember Backpackers. I'm surprised Magic is the slow down. Don't be cheeky, is what I remember. I thought it was fine. I don't think it was one of the worst. Phones, I think, is the worst one. If I had to pick one out of all of them. What was Kids? I don't remember Kids. Oh, I do remember Kids. Mum School? So I'm surprised that these ones are so low down, but again, I guess I wouldn't even know what. I guess they are kind of worse than the others. Piggyback is so low down. That's surprising. I'm surprised about some of these orderings, to be honest. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We've already talked about Bluey, kind of. There you go, camping friends. But for now, I'm going to round this episode here. So for now, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Darling. Any likes, comments, description, shares are greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord. But I hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now. Also, in one episode recently, I forgot to wave. So, you know, I'll double wave this time just to make up for it. Can't remember which one it was though, so oh well.